isn't there already enough things that are public that if confirmed, if verified in an investigation, would be enough to impeach a president?
So look, you keep correctly underlining, if confirmed, they all have to be confirmed. But my view on this is, let's get Mueller's stuff in there too. This has been an ongoing investigation. It's a serious investigation. It's already produced, what is it, nearly 36 either indictments or guilty pleas? I mean, that's a pretty amazing investigation already, and make a report to the American people. I think that's going to be absolutely critical. I think we need all of it out there, because I think all of our fellow citizens need to see that. I think that needs to be a part of the whole decision-making process. And, you know, at least what we're hearing, and I have no special knowledge of this, but is that we're very close to having that. So, you know, I think it all ought to be out there to see.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the young hacks. I mean, the young Turks. Because Cenk Uygur put out a tweet the other day that I responded to that I think is worth discussing and talking about, because, again, it highlights the hypocrisy of the left. Okay, they're pissed now that the GOP has decided to investigate Joe Biden for his business dealings overseas with his son. Okay, potentially business dealings that could compromise the president. It is a potential national security issue that definitely should be investigated, especially how after, you know, the past 2 years, the mainstream liberal media told us that this was Russian disinformation. Turns out that it wasn't. It was real. It was true. And I believe that the rabbit hole is extremely deep and it needs to be investigated. But apparently not according to Democrat progressive hacks like Cenk Uygur, who says, now the Republicans have gained the House. What are they going to do? An investigation of Hunter Biden. And how does that help you? Does it make your wages any higher? Does it get you affordable health care? No, it only helps them. Politically, they think nothing for you. And then I responded to this and I said, what did the January 6th commission do to help the American people? Well, of course, he's not going to reply to it, right? Because there is nothing that that the January 6th commission did to help the American people. What's happening here is that Democrats are upset because they're getting a taste of their own medicine, right? Cenk Uygur, who I showed at the beginning of this video, supported the Mueller investigation, which essentially found that Russia bought Facebook ads, right, to try to get Trump and Bernie Sanders, they forget to put him in there, elected. Okay, that's what they did. However, there was no collusion between Trump and Russia. But this guy, for whatever reason at the time, thought it was a great idea to investigate that stuff, right? He thought it was a great idea for the Democrats to be using precious time that they can be using to, you know, make healthcare more affordable, to increase people's wages, to help out the American people in some way, to solve problems. He thought that it was a great idea to look into this stuff because it could potentially be used to get Trump out of office, right? Now, Republicans are playing that same game and they want to melt down and boohoo, whine, and cry about it. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and react to Cenk talking about the GOP and their investigation into Joe Biden.
First of all, it was such a classic Democrat move. So they subpoena Trump right before the elections, knowing that there's no way that they're going to hold the House. Oh, they almost miraculously did, but they planned on losing the House. And knowing that there wasn't enough time for the subpoena to actually go through the process and get Trump to testify. They did it at the last second. Now, why is that problematic? Well, number one, they should have done it the first day of the term 2 years ago. It was super clear that he organize a fake elector plot to do a coup. What took you so goddamn long?
So again, I want you guys to understand, when it comes to the January 6th investigation, 100% support him, right? 100% support him, even though there is no evidence that there was some conspiracy from Trump to overthrow the 2020 election. Okay, they don't really have any evidence. If they had evidence, trust and believe, he would be charged by now. I mean, he might get charged anyways, but I'm just saying that it's been 2 years and they still don't have anything. They haven't really produced anything. It's just hearsay. That's all it is. But he thinks that, again, it is worth the American people's time to investigate this, but not Joe Biden. Again, I want y'all to understand the hypocrisy here, okay? I want you to understand.
then you might have actually gotten them to testify or create some sort of issue there, right? But they do it when they know they can't get Trump, but then they hand that precedent over to the Republicans and they say, now remember, we just subpoenaed a president, and the Republicans are gonna be like, he says he's not gonna go have Biden testify. That's not true. No, they're gonna start. Remember what they did with Whitewater, with Bill Clinton. They started on some real estate deal in Arkansas and ended with like orgasm on a dress. Yes. And then, by the way, at the end of the Ken Starr report, they're like, P.S., tiny little asterisks, he didn't do anything wrong in the real estate deal. They just dig and dig and dig until they get anything, something. It doesn't matter. They're like, oh, well, okay, he didn't help Hunter Biden with any of those foreign deals, okay? But
yeah, but do you think it's worth investigating though? Right, that's the question. Because to me, it is totally worth investigating. If you think that it was worth investigating whether or not Trump colluded with Russia to try to influence the 2016 election, I think it's worth investigating whether or not Joe Biden was working with his son in order to get these business deals and to sell influence. Again, this is potentially a national security issue, right? We can have a president of the United States that is financially tied to these other countries. I think it's reasonable to assume that, Joe Biden could be compromised, which again is a national security issue.
As he was walking with Hunter Biden, he didn't jaywalk it. We got you. And then they're going to say, hey, you subpoenaed Trump, we're going to subpoena Biden. So as always, Democrats just handing a gift over to the Republicans before they lose power. That's their favorite move. But on the other hand, I agree with this guy that if I was Hunter Biden and I was innocent, that's a big if. I don't think Hunter's necessarily innocent.
So if you don't think Hunter Biden's innocent, then why in the world would you think that Joe Biden's innocent? Because the evidence suggests that Joe Biden was the big guy, right? Joe Biden was getting kickbacks, that he was directly involved with the Hunter Biden business deals. It was a whole crime family, right? We're talking about the Biden crime family. Either Cenk here is just ignorant or he's just willingly misleading his audience, right? Probably both, probably both. But again, if Hunter, you don't think is necessarily innocent, why wouldn't it be worth investigating Joe Biden? I'm just saying.
I would want to come in and testify. I'm like, I'll be your Huckleberry. You want to bring me in? Make the mistake of your life. Go for it. Okay, but I'm going to get to testify, and I'm not going to let anybody steamroll me. By the way, so I'm being consistent, right? Are they going to be consistent? Then why doesn't Donald Trump come in and testify? I mean, you just said it, Mr. Republican. If he's innocent, wouldn't he want the opportunity to come in and testify in front of the January 6th hearings?
Yeah, but see, the Republicans have not called for Joe Biden to come in and testify. They already said that they're probably not going to do that. Now, the issue here, guys, just so you understand, is that there's some like executive privilege, like there's some like funny kind of gray area in regards to having presidents come in and testify in front of Congress for this type of stuff. So that's why Democrats didn't really try to subpoena Trump right from the get-go, because they knew that. However, they pulled a stunt where they subpoenaed Trump right before the midterms, knowing that they would lose the midterms, so that they could essentially, again, try to score political points, knowing that they would never have to follow through with it because Republicans would take back the House and basically stop the investigation, right? To stop all the January 6th stuff. So now Cenk is just kind of extrapolating from that well, Republicans will use this precedent that Democrats set to try to make Joe Biden testify, but that's not necessarily true. We don't really know that yet, okay? They said that they're going to just stick with Hunter, but again, we don't know if they're actually going to call for Joe Biden to testify. We don't know, okay?
Oh, apparently Trump isn't innocent according to your own logic. So there's absolutely no question about that. All right, and finally, the most important thing here in terms of analyzing this, tell me what Hunter Biden has to do with you. Is it gonna get you higher wages? I'm asking you if you're a Republican and you're excited, like, oh, we're finally back in charge of the House. Okay, so what are you gonna get that's gonna materially help your life? Are you gonna get affordable health care? Are they gonna do something about the price of drugs, the price of houses? Are they gonna do anything at all to help you?
Well, what did the Democrats do, right? what Democrats do for the last 2 years to help folks? Seems to me like they hurt people more than they help folks, right? I'm just saying. And who's to say that whatever Republicans come up with, if they come up with anything to help lower the price of drugs or, make housing more affordable, who's to say that Democrats can get on board with it? Are Democrats going to allow Republicans to get a win? That's a better question. Because again, I'm pretty sure whatever legislation they put forward, Democrats will say, no, we don't want to do it for whatever reason.
To help you. Of course not. All they're going to do is a political investigation to help themselves.
Yeah.
Is that not what the Democrats were doing? Right? Is that not what the Democrats were doing? I'm just saying.
Always, Mas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. Again, hypocrisy at its finest. Cenk has nothing to say. He actually thinks it is useful, right? That American people should know about whether or not Trump and Russia colluded together, okay, to try to overthrow the 2016 election, to affect the outcome of the 2016 election. We should investigate that, spend millions and millions and millions of taxpayer dollars, along with all the other witch hunts that went, on in the House and Congress against Trump. Totally fine. Support that. Republicans give the Democrats a taste of their own medicine in regards to going after Joe Biden for totally legitimate claims, right? We're talking about him potentially being compromised. We're talking about a national security issue. And for whatever reason, these people want to act like, well, the American people shouldn't know that, right? The American people shouldn't know that. Shouldn't know about that. It's like, well, they should know about that. Because this investigation is not about Hunter Biden, right? Which is what the left, they want you to think that it's about Hunter Biden. No, it's not about Hunter Biden. It's about Joe Biden. Republicans made that clear. It's not about Hunter Biden. It's about Joe Biden. Hunter Biden's the mouthpiece, but it's about Joe Biden. So, again, here, I just find it funny how people are upset with the Republicans and them basically doing the same thing that Democrats have done for the last 6 years straight. They get mad because Republicans have taken over and said, okay, well, we're just going to do the exact same thing, right? Since it's so important for the American people to know the truth about all this stuff, right? Let's do our own investigations. Now they want to cry foul. Oh, why are Republicans not helping people? Well, why weren't the Democrats focused on that? Again, you can ask the same question. If you don't want this type of stuff happening in Congress, then you should not have engaged in these partisan investigations throughout all of the Trump years that have resulted in what? Nothing, right? They've all resulted in nothing. They've been a waste of taxpayer dollars. Every single last one of them have failed. They haven't found anything at all. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.